Hello and welcome, gamers. Yes, you read that title right. In this video, I'm going to attempt to recreate Nintendo's brand new blockbuster title, Donkey Kong Bonanza, all by my lonesome. Now some of you might ask, why would one guy attempt to one-up a multi-billion-dollar company? And the answer to that question is another question. Have you seen those Switch 2 prices? I don't know about you, but I can't afford to shell out over $500 million just to play 2 new games. And I'm sure a lot of you can't either. So for all my fellow brokies out there, I'm gonna make a version of the game everyone can play for the great price of free $99. But before we get started, Nintendo, if you're watching this video is made strictly for entertainment purposes only. All models and art are originally made, and I'm not making a single cent off of this video. So please don't send your ninjas after me. Now with that out the way, let's get in there. So I opened up the gift that is Unity Game Engine, set up a brand spanking new project, and let that cool default blue skybox hit my face before proceeding to spend the next week just figuring out how to get the basic movement set up. And since I've done this before, I thought it would get easier, but trust me, it doesn't. After I was finally done with that, I remembered I still need to make an actual character model for this game because it's not about Mr. Bean. And since ripping a Donkey Kong model from one of Nintendo's official games will most definitely land me in Nintendo's Diddy dungeon, I had no choice but to make my glorious model from scratch. So I hopped over to Blender, remembered I don't actually know how to use Blender.
What the hell is this?
And proceeded to miserably fail.
God, look at this dude. Wait till you see the.
But eventually, after much suffering, I finally decided to fully lock the fuck in, and I produced this absolute masterpiece. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Totally Not Donkey Kong.
Hey, yo!
While making my perfect boy, I ended up having to take a few creative liberties for my own personal sanity, particularly the eyes. Besides that, I think he turned out great.
Perfect!
Now with the model finished, next I whipped up all the basic movement animations I needed, then got rid of the bean and set up everything in Unity. And just like that, now Totally Not Donkey Kong can roam and frolic free as every monkey should. Now you may think the run cycle is a wee bit scuffed, and I might just agree with you, but look at that jump cycle. At first glance it looks like one singular animation, right? Well actually it's multiple separate animations, all seamlessly transitioning from one to another at the optimal time. The reason I did this was to make my animations sync up with the player's jump height, allowing the player to perpetually fall or ascend forever. And yes, I did spend a concerning amount of time on this, and for that very reason I will be goddamned if it goes unnoticed. But I can already hear the people in the back. We don't care about no damn jump cycle. How you gonna make them smash through terrain like you did in the trailer? And the answer to that is...
Shut your lame ass up, man.
My first thought was to create a voxel world similar to Minecraft and just simulate destruction via deleting cubes. But while doing research for that, I stumbled upon something even better called the Marching Cubes algorithm, which is basically a method to dynamically generate 3D mesh via marching through a grid array of cubes holding position values and deciphering which points should be rendered based on its value.
Okay.
Or in skibbity brain rot terms, the Marching Cubes algorithm is an absolute Sigma Giga Chad, traveling through a grid of invisible aura cubes and scanning each one's aura levels at every corner. And depending whether or not the aura level has ascended the busting threshold or not, it either gets phantom taxed or rendered so it can be seen mildly. So after figuring out how to generate a nice chunk of terrain using this method, to simulate destruction, all I did was enable a collider and tell the Marching Cubes algorithm all the points on the mesh within it have L-Riz, Now, if you think I'm smart enough to implement this into my game all by myself, you'd be sorely mistaken. This would not have been possible without tutorial series and code from Omar Santiago and videos from Sebastian Lee. And if you're genuinely interested in this stuff, I would definitely check out these two absolute legends. But right now we have a big issue. This looks ugly as and not just because I don't have any attack animations. Trust me, we'll get to that. But the whole game just looks dull. So to spruce up the scene, I decided to add water to the game, which was actually way easier than I thought it would be. I just added a plane, threw on some noise displacement, and a refraction shader to the surface. The hard bit was actually creating the illusion of being underwater. The main issue I kept running into was when I tried to use Unity's built-in full screen effects. I couldn't get this working because apparently my water surface shader was already a transparent material, and since the full screen shader was also a transparent material, you can't overlay an already transparent material with another transparent material effect.
But that's simply not possible.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
So as a workaround, whenever the camera goes underwater, I intercept its signal and render it to a 2D texture image. This way I can apply whatever effects I want to this 2D texture before rendering the 2D image as a fake screen. After that, I just added the swimming logic and animations, and you can start calling me Mr. Poseidon the way I'm manipulating this water.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And now that we've successfully created H2O, I can finally use it to water the soil and grow some grass. And after all of that, I finally created the attack animations. Originally, I just had them simply attack in place, which is cool, sure, but I wanted a violent flurry of punches. I wanted that anime. So I put both a left and right punch on a pendulum and added some forward momentum. And long story short, now TNDK can dipsy roll it. And by that I mean, also I added a ton of small particle effects and whatnot to really pull everything together. But I got pretty bored just digging through dirt, so for the sake of variety, I tossed in some rocks to destroy as well. Oh, what's that? You want to know when I'm going to start designing levels? Oh yeah, funny thing about that.
No.
You see, unfortunately, making interesting levels require things like effort and creativity, and I really don't have time for all that. So instead, I decided to just turn the game into Crazy Taxi, which I am not going to elaborate on at all. If you haven't played Crazy Taxi, do me a favor, shut this video off and go play it. And then you can come back and join the rest of us once you've experienced peak. Alright, now that we've got rid of the uncultured and hopefully everybody's on the same page. First I modeled and textured a beautiful banana in Blender, then wrote a script to bury a bunch of these suckers in completely random positions. Now remember what I said about Crazy Taxi? Okay, now imagine if all the people that you pick up were just bananas. And instead of trying to reach the destination within the timer, you're just trying to find the next banana. Great, now you know exactly how my game works. There's your radar, your timer, and your overgrown insect that wants to eat your soul. Wait, what? Yeah, so as it turns out, Crazy without the taxi is quite boring. So I decided to add some enemies to shake things up. Now if you're wondering why I chose a ladybug over literally any other enemy, trust me, I am too. And if it feels like I'm glossing over this, that's because I am. I do not feel like going on and on about how hard it was to stop them from doing the fusion dance. But if you actually want the detailed explanation, ready? Here it is. Well, you didn't get it? Well, that's too bad. Time to move on. But the game is still a tad bit too easy. So let's add a bunch of landmines everywhere for no reason at all.
Should
we get behind something?
Okay, Michael Bay, put your pants back on. And now since the player can receive damage, this means I need to give the player a way to heal as well. So I added melons to the game. No, not those type of melons. The fruit. So now you can take damage, heal, and collect nanas. But what happens if you find every nana, I hear you ask? Well, that's easy. You get to do it. Again! Which is what I was going to do initially. But I still had one thing missing from my game. One thing featured in every single Donkey Kong game. One thing my game would not be complete without. The infamous barrels. So I set up a whole separate scene and effectively recreated the cannon barrel minigame from DK64. Then I put everything in hell and added lava, because why not? And spent an eternity balancing and fixing numerous glitches. The timer was an absolute pain to balance, because either it felt completely unfair, or you could just stack time and defeat the whole purpose. The main thing I did to counter this was making the cannon minigame actually generate an ideal number of barrels according to how much time you have left. And with that, the game was more or less complete. Yippee! I think the game turned out really cool, but it could be a whole lot better. First of all, I didn't have time to add wall climbing or picking up rocks, which would have been awesome. But who knows, if enough people are interested and actually watch this video, I might make an update. Unfortunately, at this time of recording, the game may or may not be in the description, as it currently runs at a whopping 40-ish frames per second. So just come back in a week or so and I'm sure it'll be there. But thanks for watching, and make sure to touch the like and subscribe buttons unconsensually. And in conclusion, just go play Donkey Kong 64 instead.
Donkey Kong.
Nintendo, hire this man. Nintendo, hire this man. He's using Unreal Engine in any way